Welcome to New Mexico Black Rifle Operators Union. I'm your host, Sean, from Timcast. Um, Philadelphia mayor signs executive order banning guns from city parks. Now, if you hadn't seen the stuff on Twitter and on the news and everything, there's a Wawa, I think that's what it's called, store that was raided. Philadelphia itself, or Pittsburgh, and all of Pennsylvania, is having a crime surge just like everywhere else, but there's also in Philadelphia specifically, there's a higher incidence of murder this year. So, what this guy is saying is the guys that don't pay attention to the law, who are killing people, you keep doing you. But those of you who obey the law, I'm taking your guns away if you're in city parks. Isn't that where you would go to walk to get mugged? Where muggings usually happen, I guess, in larger cities, would be in cities when they're walking around, maybe in stores, not stores, but store parking lots, where you're getting mugged. Wouldn't it be beneficial if you were walking with, say your family, and you had a firearm on you, and someone were to approach you and say your money or your life, and you didn't have anything, what would you do? This is also one of the strongholds of leftist in Pittsburgh, or in Pennsylvania. I keep saying Pittsburgh because I keep thinking Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, but this is one of the strongholds of Pennsylvania by population, and that's hard to say because Pennsylvania is a lot like New Mexico in that their rural parts are pretty red. And when I say red, I mean they're hardworking people that like their guns. I'm telling you this stuff because this is typical of politicians, especially leftist politicians. But as this is an election season, now's the time to pay attention. So as we get ready to go in November in New Mexico, and November most places, I think, for their actual election versus their primaries. Most places have already had their primaries. New Mexico already had ours in June. Get out and vote. Grab your other friends to go out and vote. Go get pizza and beer, and after you vote, do something. Make a date to go vote. Do something, because this is one of those elections that actually really does matter, especially if you're in the 2A community. You really need to think hard before you vote. I don't believe there's such a thing as a wasted vote. I will say you have to vote strategically, though. Last election, I could see some people voting for third party because both options sucked royally. There's nothing wrong with that. I understand fully, but we're in this situation kind of now because we knew that the third party guy wouldn't be in the running for the president. If we see in the future that there's a potential, for instance, if Dave Smith runs, you're damn right I'm going to vote third party. And I don't give a damn about Trump or DeSantis or anybody else. In the presidential election, I actually hope DeSantis runs over Trump. I think Trump's had his terms. He needs to go away, mostly because he's divisive, not so much that he can't save the country. If anything, they've done a big job at pissing him off, and if he got in, maybe he would know where to stick the knife to get rid of the giant state that is Washington, D.C., the hive of villainy and scum that it is. I say that. Santa Fe isn't much behind it if you're in New Mexico. Again, there's a lot of good people that go there to try to do good things but get overwhelmed by the majority. In New Mexico, that is outright leftist. We're walking in lockstep with what's going on in New York and California. and we're hemorrhaging people, but not to the extent as those other two states, mostly because our people are too poor to move. If they could move, they probably would. Most of us that are left here in New Mexico either have family, have strong ties to the area, or have really, really good jobs where we're at and aren't going to leave them right away on a whim. So, this should be a reminder that politicians are not our friends. I know some politicians personally, local politicians. To be honest, I want to hold their feet to the fire this election because of what happened during COVID. We had a lot of people here that kowtowed to our governor where they shouldn't have. There's a lot of people nationwide that kowtowed to governors and to scare tactics for COVID. Yes, COVID is real. COVID is bad. You either had it, had your shots and had it, had your shots and didn't get it, or you just had an immune response and you didn't have to worry about either or. This is over by now. Biden even said so. His administration, the people, that deep state that everybody keeps talking about, isn't really some giant hand controlling or rocking the cradle, so to speak. It's the fact that if you have someone in power, okay, for so long, they hire so many people, and those people stay on long after the person that was elected left. Those people are the ones that are infecting the ones that are just going there. Those people are the deep state. Now, that is a buzzword in lots of things. I may get a strike. I doubt it on Rumble because Rumble rocks. By the way, if you're in Florida with Rumble and all those guys, please duck your head. Take care of yourself. Tia, I'm watching out for you. Florida, we're on your side. We're all praying for you, and I hope Ian doesn't do as much damage as he's looking like he's going to. You guys rock. Florida rocks. Florida's a beacon for all of us stuck behind the blue wall of leftist, meaning California, New Mexico, New York, Minnesota, and a lot of places. Any of us in that really, really deep blue place that we try to get out of, but we're also in the rural parts of it, so it's actually pretty normal. We watch out for Florida because Florida seems like it's a beacon, like you guys have it right. And I don't necessarily believe it's the politicians. I believe it's because of the people in Florida. Because the people anywhere make or break a state. And that's why we're having such a collapse everywhere else. Is, I guess, the brain trust, the smarter ones, the more freedom inclined, the ones that had the opportunity took it and got out. Some of us have deep ingrained family ties to the area that it's hard for us to leave New Mexico. I've talked about this a lot on my Your Donut You Eat It podcast. But with November coming, guys, and I know this is a 2A community type thing I'm trying to start and keep going, we need to keep mindful of the news that's going to matter to us. And this is one of those things that we have to pay damn close attention to, because they're already at that point where they're trying to pass gun bans. Any movement that gives any of those guys any more momentum, we're screwed. And with people going out because of the abortion issue becoming a hot button issue, they're getting more and more people motivated to get out. So however you want to vote, I want you to vote a certain way, but I'm not going to tell you how to vote that way because you're an American, damn it. These issues should matter to you, and you should get off your butt, get out there, and vote your conscience, vote your wallet, and vote your heart, vote your brain. Don't be a mindless drone like 90% of idiots nowadays. Mainstream media is dying. We're the future. The people are. Being able to get out and talk to you and say what's going on. That's why I like Timcast so much, is because he fact checks everything he does, or his people do. That's why I use them as a news site. They're NewsGuard certified, so I don't have to pay for any of that other stuff. They're frame checked and they're bias checked, so the facts in this, whether you like the facts or not, they're the facts. Believe it or not, Fox News used to be really, really skewed to the right. They've actually come around a little bit and kind of are in the middle, more so than what other people think. OWN is definitely conservative, just like Blaze TV. It's for a certain type of audience. If you are trying to get informed by media, just in general, it is best to get a diet of everyone's opinion so you can make your own opinion. Not just own your own opinion, but get the facts. Because overlapping news sites, when you look at some news sites, you'll find that someone got this part right of the story, but another one got this part right of the story. And you'll see the commonalities of what is correct in both stories, so you could take that as, yes, this is in fact what's happening, or with a degree of certainty of where you're going. It's sad in this day and age that we actually have to do that ourselves, but it's also great in this day and age that we have to do it ourselves, because it shows the people that are in the know really are in the know. You don't have to be a conservative or a conspiracy nut. Sorry, that's what I was looking for, conspiracy nut, to start looking into some of these things. A lot of this isn't conspiracy. A lot of this is actual concern. A lot of this is actual worry that needs to be, things that need to be addressed. And without a bias or a check on your own biases, as well as a check on the news sources, you're going to have to do it, right? That's what we have to do. That's part of life. And that's part of what we're always supposed to do as Americans. Like, share, subscribe, Rumble, since Rumble's becoming more and more. Again, pray for all those folks in Florida. Be great, and good morning.